I have an anvil. I've also got a forge, but you know what? Ever since I bought my anvil and made my forge, I really haven't used them at all. Part of it is simply due to the fact that I'm a stock removal knife maker, that's how I make a living, but then also it's just that, you know, I watch it on YouTube, I watch it on Forged in Fire, and I see it, and seeing videos of it, it looks like a lot of fun, but somehow it hasn't really like romanticized itself with me yet. Until this past weekend. You see, this past weekend we went to a knife making demonstration. There's a store in Calgary called Knifeware, and they specialize in high-end Japanese kitchen knives. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all they have. They brought in some bladesmiths, and these guys were incredible. They actually had come right from Japan. They did a demo in Edmonton the day before, and then Calgary, and then I do believe they're doing one in Ottawa on, it's too late, it's already over.
Maybe we should talk real quick about how Japanese knives are made and what we're going to see here today. Generally with Japanese knives, you have a very sharp, hard piece of steel down the center of the blade. They put soft pieces of steel on the outside. The hard steel is what keeps the edge a long time and keeps cutting hard, or keeps it cutting a long time. The soft steel adds like a protection layer to them. They've already layered the steel at home, because if we were going to watch that, that's 40 minutes of a man hammering steel really hard to put those together, and it's sunny. And they're jet lagged, so I thought it'd be super mean to make them do that. Pretend you saw that bit already, and the next bit we're going to see is when they're going to take, so a piece like this, they've already cut out the shape, they're going to hammer this point here, round it out, because this is going to be a chef's knife or a gyuto, and then you're going to see them thin the blade out, and they're going to make this part into a long skinny tang, the piece of metal that goes in the handle of the... Okay, I'll get out of the way now.
You know, seeing that in person, I mean, they use the coal forge, and just seeing the way that they do their work was absolutely incredible. And I was concerned when we had gone there. I said, you know what, I bet if I see these guys do this in real life, live in front of me, I'm probably going to want to dig out my forge and my anvil and start beating on some steel. And that is absolutely what happened. Also, I didn't get any footage inside of the store, but walking around, they've got display cases, so there'll be a display case, and then there'll be a cutting area. So you can take any knife that you see. They've got like potatoes, tomatoes, all kinds of different things that you can try cutting, and these huge cutting boards, and you can test out these knives. So I tried out about 4 different Japanese knives, from some less expensive ones to some really high-end, like $600–700, fully handmade, you know, sanmai steel. And the thing that impressed me the most, first of all, the sharpness was unbelievable. They didn't feel that sharp when you kind of felt the edge, but the way that they cut was incredible. Their blade geometry was really amazing, and the lightness. They're very light knives. You know, you hold like an 8-inch chefs or 10-inch chefs or whatever, and you expect a lot more heft. You know, when we bought some decent, I thought we bought decent kitchen knives. They're garbage. We bought a set of Wusthoffs, and we paid good money for them, and I thought, oh good, we've got really good kitchen knives now. No, 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 no. Those things hold an edge like a wet noodle. But you compare those, even holding the Western style knives, to these Japanese knives. My goodness, it has just lit a fire under my butt to start learning the craft of actually forging knives, because these knives were unbelievable, absolutely second to none. And so indeed, I did come home and I tried forging a knife, and I just took a piece of shafting. I don't know what type of steel it is, and the idea wasn't to have a knife that I could actually use, but just to try and learn some of the techniques, you know, trying to take a round bar stock and turn it into a knife-shaped object, you know, pulling the heel out, you know, separating the tang and making a tang on it. And so far it's going pretty good. I'm not done with it yet. We had to pack it in just because there's a big storm coming, and I haven't had a chance to get around to doing more work on it, but it was so much fun, and absolutely I see the passion for it. And then I've started watching all these Japanese knife making videos on YouTube, and there's not a lot of really good high quality videos on traditional Japanese bladesmiths, but there's a couple of them, and they're just so amazing, and they're just like, oh, definitely think we're going to start seeing some more forging stuff. Obviously, it's good practice. I need to kind of work on some of my skills so that when I go to draw out the billet from Alex Steele, put a link to his channel in the description below, as if you haven't subscribed to him already. But when I go to draw that billet out for the knife that I'm making with that, it will be nice to actually have some experience. It's funny because even from the start of a forge session to the end of it, it might only be a half an hour in elapsed time. But my technique, I've really noticed, I do things completely differently because you're learning stuff. How holding your hand affects the imprint that you leave on that hot metal, and how the metal moves, whether you're doing like a forward swing or a backward swing. So much stuff to learn. And then if you take that, the fact that you could take that, the forging stuff, now bring it to your grinder, which is a part that I've always loved, man, it just keeps getting better. This whole knife making just keeps getting to be more fun. Let me quickly show you what I've done so far. So obviously, if you're going to get into blacksmithing, you need some tongs. Now, this is a set that I've had for years and years. I don't even know where I got them. I've had them in storage, and then after I built my forge, I went and grabbed them. I don't even know what you call tongs, but obviously these are for holding like round stock, something like that. Work really, really good. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna need some more tongs, so what if I try and build some? This is what I've ended up with. Now, I did not forge these whole things, not by any stretch. These started out as a pair of these hoof clippers. Where I live, I mean, you can go to auction sales, even garage sales, you can find these, and I bet I have 10 pairs of these kicking around. I think I picked them up, you know, they're like $5 a piece or something. I think I bought a bucket once, I had 3 of them, it was $2, it was a whole bunch of scrap steel. So I thought, you know what, why don't I just take these, kind of straighten them out a little bit, and then kind of reshape them to suit my needs. Now, I'm not entirely finished with these yet, but I think they just might work. I still need to bring these faces parallel with each other, and then obviously even them up so they're level with each other. But it's amazing, you know, once the steel's hot, you can kind of adjust it and tweak it, and I think these just might work. We'll have to find out and see. But once I had done that, this was the knife that I started to work on. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you should never just start forging a knife. You know what, I usually don't listen to what anybody says ever. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'm not so sure about this case yet. Anyways, obviously what I tried to do was draw this out from a piece of bar stock, put some type of a knife-like profile in it. I call this a knife-shaped object. And then I used a piece of mild steel, put this on the edge of the anvil, put the mild steel there, and I had my boys striking it so that I could try and separate this tang. Obviously there's gonna be some cleanup to do on the grinder, but I wanted to see how much I could get done forging it. I still have to pull this heel out, I still have to straighten it out. Literally, like when I was done working on this, the storm was coming, and I was like, whoa boy, I barely got everything put away before it just started to pour. I made the tang way too long, ended up cutting it, and even after that it was too long, so I folded it over right here, just so that I could get a better purchase with these. And then when I'm all done, I'll cut it here again and then draw this out a little bit more. Again, this is nowhere near complete. So much fun. I just can't believe how fun that is. All right, guys, I guess all that to say that, you know, I think I'm going to start doing some more blacksmithing content on this channel. It's funny because it doesn't matter what video I make. The subject matter, in every single video, I get at least one comment. People are saying, why aren't you blacksmithing? Why aren't you doing more forging? I want to see you do forging. So hopefully this stuff will start coming to you in the future. And again, what I would be sharing is just the things that I'm learning and the mistakes that I'm going through along the way. I am by no means an expert, not even close. I mean, I know as much as anybody who's watched Forged in Fire knows. I mean, that's literally where my education has come from. YouTubers watching Alex Steele, but watching and doing are so completely different. But I think back to my very first stock removal knife, and what a piece of junk that was. I mean, it still works, it still holds an edge, but it's ugly, it's really gross. The portions are terrible, the profile's awful, it's just, bleh. But everyone gets a little better, and every time you make a knife, if you think about what you're doing, you get really involved with it, you hold it, you handle it, you use it, you learn, and every time you can progress to the point where now I'm a lot more satisfied with the knives I'm making today than what I was making 8 years ago when I started. So I'm really, really hoping to go down that same journey with forging things, with blacksmithing. And it's not even just going to be knives. I can think of a whole bunch of projects around the house, coat hangers, simple things that I really want to start making. I've got tons of material, I've got a forge, I've got an anvil. Why don't I do it? Start smashing hot steel if you've never done it, because it is so much fun. You know, I'll come out here and I start working, and as soon as the kids know that I'm out here, all 4 of the kids are out here and like, can we forge, can we forge? And it's amazing because they're not making anything. They're just beating steel, but they love it. It is so much fun. So that's that. Anyways, guys, I thank you so much for watching. Cheers.